How you doing, guys? Welcome back to another video. This one is a continuation of the last video I put out regarding my air ride on the Ae86. So as said, I'm going to have a go at starting the boot install. I'll show you what bits I've got. I did do a video of all the components which come with this kit, as much as I have added a few or even taken some away to modify it how I want the kit. So yeah, apologise if I sound a little bit bunged up as well. I've got the classic winter cold. But yeah, going to continue on with it. And yeah, I'll start with the tank. Okay, so I'll just set up my air tank, ready for paint. I'm going to use etch primer just to get a good adhesion to the aluminium. Okay, so that is the etch primer applied. It's gone on pretty good. There's a couple of little imperfections in the tank, which I may just skim over with a little bit of body filler. And then on with the top coat, which I'm going for a copper effect. So yeah, going for more of a vintage look. Right guys, so this is all painted. So as mentioned, I've gone for like a vintage copper. I've always liked the look of those old vintage water tanks that used to be made out of solid copper. I don't know, it's just something a bit different. I can always change it. An option was to polish the original aluminium, but it's been done so many times, so I thought I'd go for this. I thought I'd try it out. Underneath, these are some feet that I have made, and I'll show you those in a bit more detail. So yeah, these I made myself out of a bit of 2mm thick aluminium sheet, and these are designed to wrap around the rear strut brace, as that is how I'm going to attach the tank in the boot. I've just added some thick foam padding just for the tank to sit on, and also for that bit to sit underneath on the strut brace, just to hopefully stop as much vibration as possible. And here are some slits, and this is for the belt. So I've decided to continue the retro theme, that what's going to fix the tank to these brackets are some leather belts. And yeah, hopefully it'll look good. But until it's on, I'm not going to know. But this is the rear strut brace. So if I can show you with one of them, in essence, that clicks in like so. So it's a snug fit, and I'll have the other one on the other side. And the tank will sit on top, and then the belt will come through here and around the tank to almost hold it all together and clamp it to the rear strut brace. So yeah, what I'll do now actually is I'll test fit it. So I'll get the other clamp in, I'll put the tank on, and I'll see how it looks. Alright guys, so these are the belts that I mentioned, and I've just gone over with a bit of Scotch pad just to sort of rough them up a bit and make them look a little bit more worn, just to keep in line with that sort of retro vintage look that I would like. So yeah, I cut them down, measured them out, and then punched a hole in each of them to allow it to be tight enough to clamp to the tank underneath and secure it in place, so I know that it won't move anywhere once it's in. So yeah, I'll fit these now and yeah, get them in. Okay, so simply feeding the belt just through this slit which I've made, through one side and through the other. Roughly get that where I want it. Now the tank, this isn't going to be its final position just yet, but yeah, just to show you guys the idea. Okay, so there you go. I might have these also the other way around, Still not quite sure. The strut brace isn't actually secured correctly because I'm still waiting on the shock absorbers, but that gives you an idea. So from this point on, I'll need to fit the relief valve and all the plumbing for the compressor, and then also obviously feed the lines down through the boot, which I think I may utilise. The lighting's poor, I apologise, but these two rubber bungs here are just to access the bolts to hold on the rear bumper, and I'm hoping I'll be able to feed that down under the car, because I don't mind poking a couple of holes in the grommets because they are easily replaced. I don't really want to have to be drilling holes in any of the bodywork, but when I get to that stage, I will work out what's best. So yeah, I don't know what you guys think. That's kind of the look that I had in my mind. I'm not quite sure if I like it. I have other options, so it's not a problem, but this was just an option I came up with so I didn't have to screw into the floor. So yeah, that's where the tank's going to sit. Just behind me here, I did this quite a while ago now, quite a few months ago, as I've had this kit for now a few months, waiting on parts and just waiting for the right time to really fit it. So this was a bit of boarding that I've made to sit on the floor. So all the compressor and all the other little bits and pieces will bolt to this. So once again, I do not have to bolt anything through the floor, or that's the idea anyway. I've hinged it. So the measurements I've worked out is from where it hinges there, this back bit will fit underneath the strut brace. And just about here is where it's hinged. So I can then lift this part up here and still access the spare wheel. This will be covered in automotive like fabric. The original carpet is a very dark blue, and if I can replicate that, that would be awesome. So I think that's the route I'm probably going to take. So yeah, that's that. Okay, so these are some of the bits which will need to be fitted. So as I mentioned in the previous video, I had to order my own 6mm outer diameter airline, because what comes with the kit is 1/4 inch, and I'm going for 6mm fittings, and it is very close, but I wouldn't recommend it, because the hassle of trying to find the leak, if there are any, is just a pain. And it wasn't massively expensive, so I've gone with that, and that was from Only Charge Dubs once again. The same as these here, so this didn't come with the kit. This is an aftermarket water trap. This is just to stop all the condensation that builds up within the system, so pretty important. The fittings that are attached to it, they are individual, and they are correct for my setup, which is there. So one of these will screw into there as such, and then this part here goes into the tank, so that will come out just like so. So that will sit just there. The manifold, put the exhausts in, which come with the kit. These fittings here, these bulkhead fittings, I've supplied. I've fitted those from a good friend Paul, who I mentioned managed to get me all the fittings and more that will be required for this install. And these are all the other bits I've got to try and find somewhere to bolt. So I've got a relay here. Find somewhere for that. Shouldn't be a problem. The switch, pressure switch, as well as all the other bits and pieces to plumb in the kit. And most importantly, a 12-volt power cable with the fuse just there, and you want that as close to the battery as possible. Just protect all your bits and pieces in the car. So all of this I'm going to have to try and find a way of neatly feeding through the car to the front using this, and fix as much of this to that board as I can to once again not drill any holes in the car. But if needs be, that's the route I'm going to have to take, but I'm trying to avoid it as best I can. And for you guys that are interested in purchasing this exact kit, for your Ae86. I'm trying to get it as practical and as neat as possible, so if anyone else decides to give this a go, you have a good idea of how to keep it nice and clean without drilling any holes in your car. So yeah, what I'll do is I'll work out a kind of layout that I'm happy with regards of the compressor and all the other bits and pieces, so like the relay and bits and pieces like that. Roughly lay it out how I like it, and then I suppose get the board in, fix it to the board, and start plumbing. So that's the board in, really easy to get in and out. As mentioned, this bit can just pivot up, just like so, and it gives me just about the right amount of room so I can access my spare wheel. So yeah, wanted to make it as practical as possible. This is just out of some 12mm ply that was actually laying around the farm, so that saved me some money, which is awesome. As I said, I will get some automotive type of carpet to match what the car already has, which is quite a dark, almost looks grey on camera, but it's quite a dark blue. So that is what I would prefer to cover that with. And yeah, it is purely a matter now of if what I might do actually is put the seats back, so I've got an idea of how close they will be to the tank. But yeah, in a nutshell, just to quickly show you guys, just sort of what's required really, and what I'm going to need. I would prefer to have this behind the tank, and I think I may have enough room. Same with the manifold. So what I'll do is I'll put the seats and everything back into their correct position, and I'll see how I am for space. Right, so for now I've just placed the manifold in and the compressor. And the manifold, plenty of room, not a problem. I've got loads of places where I can put that. But with regards of the compressor, a little bit tight. I think it might just foul the tank. So it's not a problem, because I did think this may be a possibility, but I may just offset the tank slightly to one side just to give plenty of room for the compressor, because also on the compressor side is the water trap. So I also have to make sure that the water trap has enough room to fit there. So I'll give it a wiggle, shift the tank across, and yeah, see what it looks like. Okay, so after a bit of to-ing and fro-ing, managed to get the tank over as far as I'm happy with, and the compressor has got lots of room, and also enough room to fit the water trap. So this isn't all fitted securely, this is just loosely put together so I can get an idea. So what I'd prefer to have is everything like this, as far back in the boot as possible, because I do use this boot when me and the family go to certain shows. This is a useful space, and I do utilise it, hence why I'm not really going for a show build. If you guys decide to do that, that'll be awesome, and there are multiple ways that you can show off your air tank if you want to. But mine's more function over form. But yeah, I'm really happy with that. So I think what I'm going to do is make some markings of exactly where this is, and basically get it fixed for certain, and get the holes drilled into the wood so I can fix the compressor, fix the manifold, which, I don't know if you can see, is hidden under there, and get all the other little bits and pieces fitted to the tank. Then I can go about fixing all the lines to each of the corners of the bags. Okay guys, so I'm going to leave it there for today. Apologies for cutting the video a little bit short. I was hoping to achieve a little bit more, but still waiting on those parts, which really I could do with. Also, I think with regards of running the line, I need to have a really good look under the car to see where the best place would be to feed it. I'm hoping I can get it sort of within the rails, but I'm not too sure. I might have to buy some fixings just to have it up and out the way and secured nicely. So I'll probably do that in the next video. I would have liked to have got more done more quickly, but unfortunately this is a job I'm doing before and after work, so I only have a few hours to do it. But it will happen, and I appreciate you guys following the journey. and if you haven't already, please do consider subscribing. It helps me out a lot, and I really do hope to catch you in the next video.